Welcome once again to the Bear Network on BCHS.TV. I'm your host, Gary Ownbey. Today we're going to talk about one of the things we haven't talked about lately, and that is our great choir here, VocalMotion, being joined now by Mr. Josh Dasher, who is the director of that choir. And Josh, welcome to our program today.
Thank you for having me.
Glad to have you here and talk about VocalMotion. And we always like, when I'm talking to someone, what's your background, musically, obviously? Where did you go to school and in college and so forth? And how long have you been here at Bradley?
Well, I came to Lee University from the north. I'm from Ohio. Came to Lee University, met my wife. I went to get the Bachelor's in Music Education, and was involved in campus choir and several other choirs and ensembles while I was there. And went on to get my master's at Indiana Wesleyan, and just enjoying the life here.
Oh, well, great. We're glad to have you here. Great job you do. I mean, I've heard VocalMotion a lot of times, and probably half this county, half this city has heard them at one point or another where they realize not who it was. And tell us about VocalMotion. What does that encompass here at Bradley Central? I know there's a lot of students involved in that, and you go all around town doing things, but what is your basic premise or your game plan? What do you want someone who enters VocalMotion to be able to do it later on and even into the lives, you know?
Well, yeah, we do. We have a great tradition at VocalMotion. Been around for many, many years, starting back, I believe, with Miss Gallagher. And so we've got a great tradition going on. As they come in, we have a great feeder school with Lake Forest, Revolution. So we're always thrilled at the people that we get there, but it's not a prerequisite to be in Revolution to be in VocalMotion. So that's key to know. What I'm looking for is students that are eager to learn. They love to sing. They love to dance. You have to be able to do both. Some are better singers and some are better dancers, but you know, we work together, and we have great team captains and vocal captains to get us all on the same page and doing great things. What I'd love for them to be able to do as they go on to VocalMotion is do whatever they desire, whether it's singing in a church choir and being able to pick out parts, or whether it's going on to Dollywood. We've had some that have gone on to Dollywood to
professional.
Yeah, yeah. So it's whatever their desire is. We want to meet them where they want to be. Some just want to have an experience in high school and do some traveling and have some fun with their friends, and we're good with that as well.
Oh yeah, that's what it's all about, being a student at school there. Let's say that I'm coming into Bradley as a freshman and I'm interested in getting into VocalMotion. How do I go about that? Are you going to have tryouts or something coming up pretty soon?
We will. We have tryouts coming April 24th and 25th. It'll be after school from 4 to 6 on both of those days. We come in, we try to make it as relaxed as possible, and we know that there's a lot of nerves that go on, and we want to make it as comfortable as possible. We have some of our former students or current students there to try to help and kind of, you know, not be so scary. But they would come and they would try out, and you know, we would go through that process.
Well, and I'm sure you've got a large group there, but you're looking for different voices because you don't want everybody singing in the same alto, soprano, bass, whatever. I mean, you got to have that to make a choir sound good.
Yeah,
and to blend.
This year we're really looking for some sopranos. We're always looking for all parts: altos, tenors, bass, sopranos. We're looking for sopranos and of course men. We're about 1/3 guys, 2/3 girls, and we would love to make that more even as we go forward.
What is your ideal number of students to have in VocalMotion?
I would love to be right around the 50 mark. You know, we got up there right before COVID, and then COVID hit, and it's been a couple years, kind of a rebuild. We were at 35 this year. We had a great group, and we did some wonderful traveling and good results.
Well, in VocalMotion, I know you have things going on like Christmas things and shows like that, but what is your typical schedule once the school year starts? You know, once someone is made the tryouts and you say, okay, we need this voice here, what's your typical schedule for someone that's in VocalMotion? Is that?
Well, we hit the ground running. We do have after school practices on Mondays and Thursdays. We are very flexible to some extent. We want people that are involved in other sports to be able to work with us. We want to work with them. And so don't think if you want to play soccer, you want to play football, or you want to play tennis or bowling, that VocalMotion wouldn't work with you, because we will. But we hit the ground running. We start our competition show. We have a choreographer come in once to twice a week. to try to get us to learn our show, our competition show for the spring. But then one of the unique things that we do is our seniors create our Christmas show. So based on things that they've done in the past or new things, they put it all together. They do the dance, they do the songs. We, of course, help them out as best we can as far as getting their licenses for the songs and so forth. But it gives them a great opportunity to show what they've done over the last 3, 4, 5, 6 years sometimes as those seniors come in. So,
well, I've seen some of your shows in the past, and I know you seems like you have a theme. It may be doo-wop music. I've seen that before, the doo-wop or classic rock songs, or even country or gospel, a mixture of things like that. Disco, I mean, over the years, you sort of change your program with what is trending, or maybe a look back at retro music, stuff like that. Who makes the decision, and how do you decide when you say, okay, we're going to do classic rock this year? How do you decide which songs to pick out? Because there's just so many songs in the world of music. I mean, it's just endless.
Right.
Somebody's got to make a decision to pick out the songs, and I guess you say, well, the kids will like this one, or maybe they won't like this one, or so. How's that get put together?
Well, that's another unique opportunity. At the end, at our spring, after our competition, which we're doing right now, our kids split into groups, 3, 4. They can make it by themselves if they want, but they create the shows. So when they have themes, they have things that are on their heart, they know what they like. We used a TikTok thing in our show last year that the kids just thought was hilarious, and we got a great crowd response. So it's something that helps us to get our kids invested in the show next year, knowing that they have the opportunity to write, and they don't do the choreography and stuff, but they will put the songs together, they'll do a theme, or they will do a narrative type thing. This last year was called Freak Show. It was a circus theme, and it was created by one of our students, or a few of our students. And the year before was Alice in the Wonderland theme, and again, one of our students created the show. And Missy and I, my wife, she is my right hand in this, and is almost at every practice. So we always got the girl side too. But she and I and my son, who is also music education, we sit down and we try to tweak the show the best we can to make it most effective.
Well, people don't think about it, but I've seen you perform, and a lot of times you're on risers to start with maybe, and then it segues into a choreographed show, and it's not just guys and girls standing there singing, but they're into movements and things that really adds to the appeal of the show, I think. And
sure.
Who does? You said they don't do the choreography. Who does your choreography?
James Vassell has worked with us for the last 5 years. He owns a gym out APD 40, and he's worked with us consistently the last 5 years, usually coming in 1 to 2 times a week, and helps us the best. Sometimes he'll bring in some of his former students and let them help in doing that. So he gives back to the community as well.
Well, that's great there. And you mentioned a minute ago competition. Now, tell us about what kind of competition you'd enter, where they would be at, and what you can expect when you go to these competitions.
It does vary. This year we went to 4 competitions. We went to 2 in Alabama, Auburn and Jasper, and then we went to 1 in Nashville, DCA, Donaldson Christian, and then we went clear up to Cincinnati, Ohio for our final competition, which was an overnight. So we were able to have a little fun the next day and go to a mall and different things. But it'll vary based on dates and what's available, when we're available, and when we can do, and what the board approves for us to go to.
That's good schedule. A lot of things have to be taken into consideration when you schedule competition like that out of town. And if you're a good singer, which certainly I'm not, never would claim to be, is there a chance that you can work toward a college scholarship or grant from a musical background to get into schools that offer those types of things?
Yeah, schools are looking for a variety in your background. They love great test scores and stuff, but when you're applying for grants and different things for these schools, they love to see that you've been in a audition choir, that you had leadership roles, whether you were a dance captain or a vocal captain. So all those things kind of beef up your grant applications and scholarships that you go for in the next level.
It's a nice box to check on the resume when you submit it for that grant request, and things like that. Good grades and all that just add up to there.
Sure.
And let's see. Okay, I'd love to be in VocalMotion. I can't sing a lick. is there something I can do behind the scenes? Because I know you guys have support people that do things that the audience here probably never sees and realize it's going on. But tell us about some of that thing.
So that's a very important part for us. Backstage is what we call it, but that has to do with anything from lighting to changing scenery to making sure a prop is there, to cleaning up outfits as they do a quick change. They're putting everything back together so that we have it for the next show. Yeah, the front stage is very important, and that's what usually gets you the awards. But that backstage, without them, we can't be effective in what we do.
It just wouldn't happen, would it?
Right.
I mean, it's like a lot of other things there. And you have concerts. Let me back up. You struck on something there I hadn't thought about. Props. You have different, depending on the show, you have different props like Alice in Wonderland and so forth. Who builds those props? Where's that come from?
Well, the students, but also we have a great team of parents that come and help us. So we have a backstage crew, parent crew, that will come, and they will. Some of them are very, very artistic, and have helped a lot over the last few years.
Well, you mentioned parents, and I don't care what area you're in up here, sports, academics, the band, show choir, whatever. There's always that strong support from parents. That means so much, because there's things that happen, and sometimes you need a little help, financial help, things like that, going out and raising money. And those parents, they're a key. And probably if a parent's involved, you know that child, that student is actually a top performer for you, I would guess, too.
Yeah, and it's true. The more that the parents are involved and are checking in, that keeps the student entertained or engaged in what we do.
And concerts, what we have coming up, I know you do some things here at Bradley, and I know you go out in the area, besides the competition, you go to different places, but what do you have lined up in the way of concerts that you make, like Christmas? I know you do things at Christmas here in the local area, and do you have a spring concert you'll be?
Yeah, we do. April 13th, we'll be having our final concert. We'll be running the show one more time. It'll also be our senior night. We have, I think, 12 or 13 seniors that are graduating this year. So we celebrate them on that night as well. So,
is there a theme for that night, or?
It'll be the last time we performed Freak Show, which was our show this year.
And that will be here at Bradley in the Fine Arts Center?
Yes.
It's
free to attend.
I was going to ask you if there's a cost to get in there. So that'll be your final night for these seniors, and then as far as they're concerned, their membership in VocalMotion will be complete.
Well, yeah.
But they can come back and help.
Right. We had one of our sound guys came back, was a member last year, and really wanted to continue to be involved. We had another sisters involved, so he came back and ran sound for us a lot. So it's been great.
It just takes a lot of people, and you think, hey, all you do is go and see the show, and here they are on the stage, no idea what's going on behind it. But that's part of what makes your job so much fun, I bet, though.
Oh, it is.
Figuring out things and solving problems.
It's always something different.
I bet it is, especially when you got a bunch of teenage kids to look at.
Put that in the mix.
Well, Mr. Dash, I want to thank you for being here today, talking about VocalMotion. It's been an eye-opening thing for a lot of folks here. You can see our programs always on YouTube, and there'll be a link from Twitter. Just watch them there on the Bear Network, so you can see that. And congratulations on what you've been doing, and keep up the good work, and we'll look forward to your next show.
Well, thank you for having me, Gary. Appreciate it.
Mr. Josh Dasher, the head of VocalMotion here at Bradley Central High School. Until next time, we'll say so long for now. God bless, and go Bears.